All right, what's going on, guys? It's Tell here, and in this video, what we're going to be talking about is why niching down is a bad idea. All right, there's so much advice out there right now about niching down. Hey, you need to pick an ideal client, you need to pick a niche, go all in on that niche. This is really bad advice, and that's what I'm going to explain to you today why that actually is. You don't want to actually be serving a niche, you want to be thinking about creating a niche. Now, this is a big problem right now, ending 2025, going into 2026. So many online fitness coaches are feeling invisible. They feel like they don't stand out. They feel like they blend in. They feel like they look and sound like everybody else. And so as a result of that, they're struggling to get anyone to respond in the DMs. Content's not really working right now. I'm talking to so many coaches that are struggling to actually book in sales calls, which is ultimately leading to sales are declining, revenue is taking a hit. And this is a big, big issue that needs to be solved going into next year and setting yourself up for a successful 2026. All right. So you don't want to think about serving a niche. Now, there's several lines of thought with this, but the first thing I want to present to you, and really my first case against creating or serving a niche and instead creating a niche, is I want you to think about it like this. In the past, absolutely, pick a niche. It was one of the easiest ways to go. I'm going to serve busy moms. I'm going to create a fitness program around that. You set out, hey, you could have been very successful with it. You probably were very successful with that over the last several years, but it's just stopped working like I was talking about. Content is not clicking. There's more and more people serving these busy moms. There's more and more people serving these busy dads, right? And so the competition pool is just really high when you think about your business from a niche perspective, because it's what every other fitness coach is doing as well. They've picked a niche. They've picked an ideal client. They're all selling the same 12-week program with macros and 24/7 check-ins for busy moms. And so that is why so many people are struggling right now. It's commoditized. Again, it's became almost like generic. It's overplayed. It's played out. And it's really a struggle right now if this is the way you have your business set up. So I want to show you a different way. I want to show you how to actually create a niche where you now become the niche. You become a niche of one. You actually stand out as unique and different, and how we can actually build a business around you, around the things that you're passionate about, around the skill sets that you actually have, the things that you actually want to help people with inside of their fitness coaching journey. I want to show you how to actually build a business around you, because that is the competitive advantage right now inside the market. When everybody's serving the same niche, when everybody's posting the same content, when everybody's selling the same offer, the same 12-week program with macros and 24/7 check-ins, well, the only thing that we can really now begin to focus on that's different is you. Because you have your own story, you have your own unique thought process, like you have your own unique worldview, you have your own way of doing things, whether or not you know it. Today I want to show you how to actually package up the things that are inside of your head, the creative things that you have built, into something that is unique, something that is different, something that stands out, so that you can create your own niche and you can begin attracting clients to you, so that ultimately you can sign clients and grow your business. All right. And so today I'm going to walk you through several different frameworks. We'll see what all we get into today. As always, I have this huge Miro board just full of frameworks on frameworks. And so we'll just kind of see what we get through today. I don't want this one to be much more than 15 or 20 minutes. All right. So what I want to start today is I want to talk about, you need to create a core strategy. Let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. All right. So most coaches right now, they don't have a core strategy. And so what kind of happens is, so often, like I talk to coaches and, one day they're over here and this is the direction they're going, and they start to put some stuff out. They're not really getting the feedback they want. And so then they're hopping over here and they're doing this strategy and this tactic. And then they start to promote this thing, and then they promote that thing. And they're really just like all over, because the ultimate thing they're looking for is, I'm trying to find something that works. I'm trying to find traction. I'm trying to get leads and get clients. And when it doesn't work, then you just kind of like, you keep flipping strategies and trying new things, right? Because ultimately you're trying to get clients, you're trying to get revenue for your business. The issue with this is that it's not very stable. You're always, this is what comes with the whole niching strategy, because with the niching strategy, you're always just chasing the market. You're always trying to figure out, what do they want to see from me? What do I have to do to get clients? With the core strategy and the way that we build things, we don't focus on what do people want. We start to ask ourselves, we say, what do we want to build? Who do we want to be? What do I actually want to do with my clients inside of my program? And we build first and foremost from your mission, your authority, your worldview, and your skill sets. All right. We build the business around you. We don't worry so much about the niche. We don't worry so much about the ideal client at the beginning. We say, hey, ideal client aside, what would actually get you passionate? Like, what would actually get you out of bed? What would actually get you excited in the morning? And this is not just for beginner coaches, by the way. This becomes even 10 times more important for the coaches that have been doing this for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, for established coaches. Because so often when you first get started, you've kind of just, you probably signed up to just like a generic group style program, get to 10K months type of program. You plug into that thing and they just said, hey, go pitch this 3-pillar offer with the 12 weeks and the macros and the 24/7 check-ins, and you're going to get clients. And you kind of just plug into somebody else's system. And it's just kind of a cookie cutter system. You kind of just copy and paste other proven things that have worked, and that's amazing for getting you started. It can totally get you started. It can get you off the ground. But once you're 2 years into business, you're 3 years into business, and you start to realize like, hey, I'm not actually really passionate about what I'm doing. Like I'm not actually like emotionally invested in this. This doesn't actually get me out of bed excited in the morning. I'm kind of just doing this to get a paycheck, right? Like I'm kind of just doing this to pay my bills at the end of the month. It becomes really hard to think about scaling and growing that style of business. And so you really have to put a lot of force into it. And that's when this style of thinking, this is when creating a niche, this is when this strategy can become so important. It's how we can actually begin to inject little pieces of you and your skill sets and the things that you're passionate about back into your business, how we can actually begin to monetize you and who it is you are and the things that you enjoy and you like. And so it all begins with your mission. I believe that we all have a God-given mission. I believe that we're all put on this earth. We have a purpose, that there was a specific reason that we were here. And that's really our life pursuit, is to figure out like what is the chapters to our book that we are to be writing, right? Like what were we actually put here to do? We all have things that we're naturally skilled at, things that are naturally, we're drawn to, that we're interested in. And so I call this your mission, right? All of this accumulates into your mission, your purpose, and again, what you were put here on earth to do. And this often comes from it leads to something that you have authority over. So you have authority over, let's say for instance, you're like a fat loss coach, and it's something that you're really good at, and you've done so much research with it. Maybe you have a story yourself of going through a fat loss journey. It's something that you've maybe struggled with, maybe not, but you have authority over it. You have this thing that you've researched and you've went super deep into. When I was an online fitness coach myself, I went super deep into powerlifting. I ended up starting a powerlifting gym, Kings Barbell. I'm actually wearing the shirt here in Dayton, Ohio. And like strength training and powerlifting was the thing that I got super obsessed with. That was the thing that I was an authority figure in. And this thing that we have authority over, this thing that we've obsessed over, this thing that is a part of our mission, we have unique worldviews and we have unique skill sets. We all get different certifications. We all listen to different podcasts. We all follow, different, like leaders in the space. Like I was super into like Louis Simmons and Westside Training, and we build unique skills. And we've all gone through like a unique upbringing, right? Which led to a different type of worldview. Like for instance, I grew up like Amish, like Mennonite, right? So like the whole like bonnets and dresses. And so like I have an interesting and unique worldview. When I go to approach something, I maybe have a different take or a different perspective than a lot of other people that didn't grow up that way. And so all of this accumulates into, whether or not we realize it, a very interesting and unique worldview and mission that is unique to us as an individual. So when a whole bunch of people are out here serving busy moms, and you come into the market and you've got this entirely different thing that you're showing up with that is like from your core, that's like, this is what you're passionate about, and this is your worldview, and this is your skill set, and this is the stuff that you actually care about. Like this is how we begin to embrace this idea of creating a niche. This is how we begin to embrace the idea of standing out. So many coaches, I will say that the kind of the warning label on this is that this requires real leadership. This requires you being willing to really step into this and to embrace and embody your mission, your purpose, your authority. It really requires you to step into this and be willing to stand out and to actually put yourself out there and not just blend in, all right? And there can be real challenges with that, right? Because like as humans, like we're so wired to just like fit in and to go with the flow, and we don't really want to, it's like hardwired into us to be, we're tribal creatures. Like we don't really want to go against the norm. And so one thing that I do want to warn you with this is you have to be willing to lead. And leading by definition means that you go first. It means that you stand out, like you are different. And other people will see you when you step out, and when you are willing to be unique and different, and when you are really willing to pursue things, you become aspirational. You become something that people be inspired to. You become someone that people are attracted to. And again, this is how we completely shift the dynamics of your business. And so let me drag this around and we'll dive into talking about kind of creating, there we go, let me recenter that, creating your unique philosophy. All right, so again, each and every single one of us, we have a mission. We have this thing we have authority over. We have a worldview. We have a skill set. And so many coaches, they're selling, again, the generic 12-week program. We come in and we do something very different. We create what we call a unique philosophy, all right? And this gets packaged up into our offers. Yes, we still sell like 12 and 16-week packages, like actual transformation programs, but we have a completely different take and a different approach than the rest of the online fitness coaching industry, all right? We create a unique philosophy. And so it's built on the foundations and upon the principles that, your ideal client, they have a current situation. They're out of shape. If, let's say, for instance, if your mission and the thing you have authority over is like fat loss, your ideal client has this current situation where they're out of shape, they're out of momentum, they're not seeing the kind of progress they want to see, and they have this desired situation. They have this dream where they're like in shape and they're crushing it, and more than likely, if you are kind of like your ideal client, it's like they see you probably as an aspirational figure who has at one point been where they're currently at and now has the type of results they want. They see you as that respected leader. They see you as that person that they can actually look up to. And along that way, from where they're at to where they want to be, there's going to be these problems, right? There's going to be problems that, they don't really know how to approach nutrition in the correct way. They don't really know how to work out. They need coaching and accountability. Like there's these problems and things that they need help with. And so when we create our own unique philosophy, we come into it, and the big thing here is we focus on figuring out, like, what is it that you believe? Like, what do you believe is the correct way to actually get people results? And then we can begin breaking this down into all of your big ideas. All right, so each and every single one of us, again, whether or not we realize it, we have ideas that are unique to us about what it is we believe people should do, how it is they should actually be getting results in approaching their fitness journey. And so all of these big ideas, they solve these problems. They help our client go from current situation to desired situation. And when we package this all up into a unique philosophy, we are able to create offers that stand out as unique and different. They're not just the generic 12-week programs with macros and 24/7 check-ins. Yes, sometimes maybe macros is what you believe a coach should do, or what a client should do. But when we can package these things up, and when we can name them, and we can brand them, and we can put them together into a cohesive like philosophy and an actual full process and a formula and an actual client journey, a journey from where they're at again to where it is they want to be. And when we put this stuff together, we make it cohesive. This is where we can begin to really stand out. So most coaches, they're just selling a service. They're selling coaching. Typically they sell coaching in 12-week waves. We do something completely different. We sell a philosophy. We sell outcomes. We sell people on big ideas and ways of actually doing things. And this is what allows us to completely position ourselves as different. We're selling something completely different from the rest of the market. Again, they're selling coaching. We don't sell coaching at all. We sell a philosophy. We sell a way of life. When people join up to our programs, they're not just signing up for coaching. They are signing up for an entirely new way of living their life. They are enrolling into a new way of doing health and fitness. And so that's why, number one, not only does this help you in your marketing, but it like completely fundamentally changes your client success and your client delivery, because people get so much more bought into the lifestyle that you're actually selling to them and the way you're going to help them get results. Now, all of this stuff can be boiled down into psychographics, where we have, our ideal client has problems, and they have frustrations, and they have dreams, and they have desires, right? These are just like basic marketing, like emotions and fundamentals and triggers that we want to be creating content and speaking to, right? This is like messaging 101. And so all of these things can get funneled into what we call industry leader content. Now, industry leader content, again, it's not about just posting generic played out stuff. It's not just promoting a generic 12-week program. It's not just another 3 chest tips. Industry leader content is, again, it's about sharing the mission. It's about sharing the message. It's about actually breaking through it and selling people on like this bigger, better way of doing life, this unique philosophy, this lifestyle that we're actually selling to them. Again, so many coaches, like, they're just selling coaching, and that's why they're really struggling. They're literally selling coaching. We sell a lifestyle, a philosophy, and a way of doing life. And so we can show up and, we can get our social funnel running, and we can get our mission messaging dialed in. We show up as an aspirational identity. We actually lead people in our space. And we have all these different content archetypes, right? You have your results marketing, authority, leadership content, the plan. We just have different archetypes of content and ways that we're showing up that are all leading from our core mission. And so you can see that, like, when we're niching down, right, there is no mission. Your mission doesn't really matter, right? That's why niching down is such bad advice, right? We create a niche. Your mission doesn't matter. Your worldview doesn't matter. Your skills don't matter. Your offer, we're not going to create anything unique and different. You're just going to pick you're just going to pick the niche. You're going to pick the ideal client, and then you're going to build everything around them, and you're going to sell them this 12-week thing. And again, that's why so many coaches are struggling. It's because they're all doing the same thing. They all sound the same way. And over a long enough time horizon, what you really begin to realize is you just fall out of love with your business because you're not doing your own thing. You're not doing it in your own way. You're doing it because, hey, it's what people want from me. It's what I've always done. It's like what I have to do. So this is like fundamentally like very, very different and a key concept to understand with a core strategy. So your marketing then leads into the way this kind of broke up. You have your offer, you have your marketing, and then you obviously have to have some sort of sales mechanism. And so inside of our sales mechanism, we have the legacy offer. That is what we enroll people into. It is a tiered offer with multiple levels of access. It is something that we can bundle, we can unbundle. So many coaches, one of the biggest reasons they're struggling to sign clients right now, if they get somebody all the way through the sales process, is the only thing they have is just one single offer. It's typically a high ticket offer. It's kind of a thing where a lead either buys or dies, and then they just like move on. It's like, cool, I've got this thing. And then from there, it's just like, well, I don't have anything else. And so we are able to bundle and unbundle. Again, we run a multi-tier offer. We're able to sell many different things to people. Sometimes we sell things like 6-week programs. Sometimes we're selling people on a 12-week. Sometimes we're selling on a 6-month. Sometimes we're selling them just on a one-time event of come to this workshop, come to this masterclass. Sometimes we do things like challenges. This is the power of a multi-tier offer, is you're never just selling one single thing. We're able to actually run content campaigns continuously every single week. We can have something on the calendar, something that we're promoting, something that we're actually bundling or unbundling from our actual program, so that our marketing is always fresh, it's always exciting, it's always new, and that we have new leads and new ways to be selling people. The piece of insight, because I see we're coming up on 20 minutes, the piece of insight that I want to drop over to you from this idea of the multi-tier offer is I want you to think about it like this. So inside of your audience right now, you have people. All right, so let me just copy and paste this. We got multiple different people. And there are power laws that exist inside of your audience. Some people are just literally never going to buy. So let's just go ahead and draw a line there and let's just say these people are just never going to buy. Some people, they would be willing to spend $100 maybe, but that's about it. All right, so we got this person right here and they're kind of over here. Let's change the color here. All right, so we got this person that was willing to spend like $100. All right, we're gonna put them in red. There's some people that would be willing to spend, let's say like a few $100. All right, so maybe we got like 2 people that would be willing to spend a few $100. There's some people that would be willing to spend, thousands of dollars to get one-on-one help. And when you only have one single thing, you only really have, the one high ticket thing that you can sell to these people. And actually, typically the numbers are backwards, right? I actually did this completely wrong. The blue, it's like there's gonna be less people that are willing to pay the high ticket thing. All right. So this would actually be more like the high ticket people. The high ticket people are a very small group of people that are willing to spend thousands of dollars on themselves. Right? You're gonna have a few more people that are willing to spend, a couple $100, and then the biggest group of people, there's gonna be the people that just be willing to spend $10, $100, whatever. Like they're gonna be obviously the biggest group of people that are gonna spend the least amount of money. The overarching point is when you only have one single thing to sell, you are only tapping into one single pocket of your audience, and you completely miss out on all the other pockets, all the other people that would have bought something. Maybe they wouldn't have bought direct one-to-one coaching, but maybe they would have signed up to a group program. Maybe they would have signed up to a 6-week challenge. Maybe they would have signed up to a masterclass. They would have been willing to spend some money. They just weren't willing to spend the high ticket fitness coaching prices. You also have some clients who would be willing to spend the high ticket fitness coaching prices, but they're a little bit scared. They're a little bit skeptical. Maybe they got burnt before. Maybe they're just that type of buyer who's just a little bit skeptical to begin with. And so they would actually like to join into this blue pack first. And they would like to just spend $10. And then they see some success and they say, hey, you know what? This was really cool. Let me maybe join up to the group program. And so they join this green group of people. And then they go, hey, you know what? The group program is awesome. Why don't I actually go ahead and just upgrade to one-to-one coaching? And so this happens all the time. People will ascend through the different tiers. People will purchase something, which will lead to the next thing. Again, so many coaches, the reason they're being left behind going into 2026 is because they're continuing to just sell the one single offer. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack, and they're just really, really struggling. They're struggling because their offer's not converting. They're struggling because they've continued to niche down. They sound like everybody else. They're selling the same program as everybody else, the same generic 12-week program, macros, 24/7 check-ins. And so their content sounds the exact same. Their offers sound the exact same. Everything about them looks like every other fitness coach in the market. And so they're really, really struggling. And so niching down is a bad idea going into 2026. You want to stop thinking about serving a niche. You want to pivot your business to actually creating a niche. And it's all going to start with you. It's going to start with you and who it is you are, your mission, the thing you have authority over, your worldview, your skills. All of this stuff needs to be packaged up into your own unique philosophy that will be made up of your own unique big ideas, your original frameworks. Like we're going to actually need to communicate to people what it is you believe, who it is you are, and put yourself out there as a leader inside of your space. So we're going to cut this one off. I'm about 3 minutes over where I want to be. Hopefully you found this helpful today. This is a very big key concept, very important conversation we're having going into 2026. Again, so many coaches are just, they're struggling. They're struggling to stand out. They're struggling to get any sort of traction. People are not responding in their DMs. And this right here is why, right? The market has matured. The market is sophisticated. People have already purchased programs before. They've joined the generic 12-week program, or they've at least been pitched the 12-week program, or they've at least been DM'd about the 12-week program. And so it's not something that's brand new to them anymore. They've tried it. They've done it. They've seen it. It's not the thing they want anymore. And so this is how we solve that problem. This is how we create something new, something they've never seen before, something that's new, different, better, something that they would actually be willing to purchase and try. So I'm going to cut this one off here. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.